Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Buckeye Sports Center. Today, I'm really excited to talk to you guys about a brand new series and a brand new model from Lund. This is the new heavy gauge series from Lund. So we're going to talk about the 185 HG. So this is a whole new category, and to be honest, I'm really excited about it because whenever we get something brand new, definitely kind of revolutionary. That's really exciting for us. It's basically a whole nother category of boats that we can sell that we did not have before, which is awesome, and it's definitely a trend in kind of our Lake Erie or the Midwest region is to have boats like this, and we're going to see why. There's a lot of interesting things going on. First off, I'm going to kind of talk about the production process of this boat. So this is different than any other Lund boat you've ever seen before. So this is what they call a heavy gauge aluminum. So this is primarily a welded setup on a heavy gauge 19 thousandths thickness aluminum on the bottom of the hull, which is about double the thickness of a lot of other brands out there for aluminum thickness. The transom of this boat's actually 25 thousandths. So really thick, really burly, really heavy duty. Lund's partnered up with a partner company to build these alongside Lund. So the factory that's been building these boats has been building them for over 40 years. So they've got a lot of experience building high quality boats. And then Lund kind of puts their stuff on it to make sure that it acts and works like a Lund. So the combination of that is what we see with this new HG series. This boat here is the 185. So this is actually the smallest one in the series. But because of what the transom setup is with the motor mounts and stuff like that, the overall length of this boat's actually 20 foot 10. So it feels and looks a lot bigger than an 18-foot boat. Obviously, the main feature that you're going to find different than all the other Lunds that we've sold traditionally is that this boat's got the full aluminum half hardtop. So this is a hardtop to kind of, if you're in the you're going out on a colder day or a rainy day or whatever, like you've got pretty much full protection in a good portion of the cockpit area so that everybody can kind of stay out of the elements, but still have a huge transom area to fish out of. So one of the themes here is going to be smaller bow area, all right, larger cockpit and transom area for maximum access. So these boats originated, and this boat's built in Washington State, but these boats originated kind of with the mindset of the Pacific Northwest. They wanted heavy duty, burly boats. They've got a lot of rain up there. They've got a lot of weather up there. They also have a lot of rocky conditions in some of the rivers and some of the areas that, you could hit a rock and stuff like that. And we don't have as much of that in our area, but at least you can kind of benefit from the the heavy gauge setup of this boat. I also have, definitely make sure you check out the on-water video I did on this model. So we get in the water, we take it down the lake. You can kind of hear the sounds that it makes. You can kind of hear how the boat rides and see how the boat rides. We actually, on this 150 horsepower engine, we got the boat up to like 45, 46 miles an hour, which is a great speed for this, kind of heavy, big, burly boat. The hull design is really good in order to make the boat really efficient, but still get good speeds out of it. So let's take a look inside. First off, we're going to talk a little bit about this transom area, which is obviously very unique if you're looking at normal traditional aluminum boats. We see this whole large platform, so if you do have to net a fish or get a little bit better access to the water, you've got this huge platform back here, which really extends the overall length to that almost 21-foot length. This particular boat, we've got the 9.9 kicker set up. We feel a lot of people are going to be trolling and using that application for this boat. So that's already kind of on our Buckeye Sports Center package, is already included. We also have a little step up into the cockpit to give you a little bit easier. There is an optional door that you can get. I have to double check to make sure it's available on the 18-foot. I think it is, but it's definitely available on the larger models, the 20 and the 21-foot. But if you wanted to have a door access rather than having to climb up inside the boat, you can do that. For this boat, we tried to keep the price a little bit lower, a little bit more attractive, and it is a very attractive price point for what you get. So we did not include that feature on this model, but it is an optional feature. Definitely on the higher ones. I got to check on the lower ones for this. So let's take a look inside. Okay, so again, this is only really an 18-foot boat. You look at how large the cockpit is. But, right now we've got the canvas up, so we kind of close everything off. But basically back here, we've got our super long, big live well. It's insulated. Obviously got recirculation pumps and pump outs and that type of stuff, but just a kind of basically a huge ice box back here that you can use as a live well. Kind of a cutting board station on top. We've got 3 storage compartments in the floor up back here in the transom. The 2 on the side can be used to store rods. We also have kind of on-the-go rod storage just along the side panels here if you want to just put your rods for quick access. This particular boat, we added the optional kind of downrigger setups with this little rail back here, as well as kind of a downrigger bracket if you wanted to mount downriggers on it. And plus a little kind of a storage tray right there built in with a cup holder, which is really, really cool. So, really, really awesome layout here in the transom area. Gives you a lot of space to fish, even if you are kind of closing everything off for the weather. Or if you want to, you can even kind of take the canvas down and if it's a nicer day, kind of fish even a little bit more underneath the hard top. Okay, I've gotten into the true cockpit of this 185, and this is obviously just unique and different compared to anything else that we've seen, kind of in our area for Lake Erie for fishing boats. So just to kind of give some clarity here, so this has got the half hard top, all right. So which basically means it goes halfway through the cockpit. The standard windshield will be very similar to what you see here, which is like a windshield that ends about right here. In the on-water video I made, it has the standard windshield, so you can kind of see the comparison here. Now, in my opinion, for Lake Erie application, if you're going to do a standard windshield boat, I don't know I think the cool benefit and what really differentiates this boat from, let's say a traditional, let's say a 185 or, a fisherman model or something in the traditional Lund line is this half hardtop. So, if it was me and I kind of didn't want to benefit from the half hardtop, I would just probably buy a traditional Lund, where this one kind of comes into play is because of that hardtop. So creating, that fully kind of weatherproof scenario, in a colder day, rainy day, that type of thing, you can kind of be very, very comfortable. We got windshield wipers on the boat. So again, think about Pacific Northwest, the conditions that they normally deal with. And quite frankly, on either the spring or the fall days and on Lake Erie, we feel similar as far as how that goes. But the nice thing is too, you can open up that center hatch. You can open up if it is a nicer day, you can open up the sliding windows there to kind of create a little bit more airflow. This boat's rated for 6 people, and the nice thing is we've got 2 seats here, we got 2 seats here, so everybody can kind of sit in this enclosed area just fine. To go out in the day to fish or to enjoy. Little things that are kind of nice about the hardtop is we've got LED light built in. We've got a couple of little storage compartments on either side. There's a couple of grab handles, so if you are running and you want to stand, I'm 6'2" and I can literally fully stand up under here without issue. So even somebody who's maybe about 6'4", where they'd hit their head on the top. So again, good vertical height on this. So overall, very, very good. As we move into the driver's area, we've got a nice big glove box over here. Traditional, kind of similar to other Lunds. Nice big glove box. We see another storage compartment in the floor. We also see your battery storage in the bow, where this is set up for up to a 36-volt trolling motor system. And you can mount a trolling motor on the bow of this boat. They specifically, set it up for that because they know a lot of people might be adding a bow mount trolling motor. And you can actually, there's a specific way it's got to be mounted, because it is a shorter, stubbier bow up there, but it will work just fine up in the bow area if you did want to do a 36-volt bow mount trolling motor, maybe like a Minn Kota, something you control, by hand or with a remote. So that's an optional feature that you can add to this boat. I'm sitting at the driver's seat. Obviously, we got tilt wheel here, convenient, kind of comfortable little driver's seat with armrests here. We've got our kicker remote kind of behind here, kind of out of the way. We've got our 150 control box right here, so I can control both of these right from the dash. Tons of leg room. I've got all kinds of leg room down here. I've also got plenty of space to mount whatever size graph I want. So if I want to add a 12-inch screen or something like that, or even dual screens, I've got plenty of space for that. Everything is just super heavy duty from a standpoint of the aluminum pieces in the windshield, that type of deal. So overall, just a really, really awesome setup, awesome boat here on the 185 HG. Bow up here, you obviously can stand and fish out of here if it's a calmer setup, calmer day. We do have a nice big storage compartment right here. The other nice thing about this bow area is that it's a self-bailing bow, meaning that all the water, if you do get spray up here that might get a little bit wet up here, it just flows right outside the boat. So you don't have to worry about all this water coming into this compartment, going into the bilge area. It's all going to be a self-bailing bow. So that's pretty cool. A couple grab handles up here. But again, on this particular boat, you're typically not going to see a lot of people fish out of here. But again, if you're doing some inland lake stuff or whatever, you could definitely open up the windshield, stand up here, and cast and fish for bass or whatever you might want to do if you need to. And again, they do modify this. A lot of boats like this do not have a capability of a bow mount trolling motor, but Lund wanted to make sure that that was the case because those are popular in the Midwest. So you can add a bow mount trolling motor and make it work on this particular boat. They've got a flat surface mount up here to make that go. So in summary, check out the on-water video. Again, super excited about this model. Again, the other thing that I'm really impressed with is, looking at this and all that you get. I'm not going to tell you what the price is. You got to look at our website for that, but look at what you get for the price of this boat, in the marketplace compared to what else is out there. It's a very aggressively priced boat. The way that Lund did this model is that they tried to make most everything standard on the boat, where there's not all these options. There are a few options that we did add to this boat. We added some extra rod holders on the hardtop. We added those downrigger brackets on the transom and the grab handles. But we added the rear canvas so you can actually close up the entire boat. If you're going to store it or whatever, the whole cockpit and stuff like that's going to be covered. Obviously, the bimini canvas is already part of the setup on this model. Is a standard feature once you get that half hardtop option. So really, bottom line, awesome boat. Check it out. Check on the on-water videos. And again, thanks for watching us at Buckeye Sports Center. For more videos on this model and other Lund boats, and for many other brands, check out our website, buckeyesportscenter.com. Subscribe to our YouTube page, and we'll see you on the water.